Alberto in Laredo, Texas. I was wondering if you could tell me more about Vince McMahon's one-off Indy appearance. Yes, that was 15 years ago, the same year that I started doing this podcast. Vince McMahon became an Indy darling in 2007. It was May of 2007. It was a chaotic wrestling show in Massachusetts. Chaotic is where Sasha Banks got her start and won their women's title. I think Kofi Kingston got his start there as well. He's another New England guy. It was a benefit event to raise money for Mothers Against Drunk Driving and to help donate breathalyzers to the local police departments. John Cena's brother was a cop in the Newbury Police Department. He was involved that year in a bad car accident where he was struck by a drunk driver. And he wasn't killed, but it was a pretty bad accident. He was hurt pretty bad. So his brother wanted to raise money for these causes, and John Cena was the special guest that night. He was the WWE champion at the time, and he was the referee for the main event. Cena's father was ringside for the match as a manager. His father has been a manager on the Indies in New England for years. Cena got bumped in the match, and he was down and out. After that, Vince McMahon, in full suit, rolls into the ring under the bottom rope, and the place goes. It takes a few seconds for people to process what they're seeing and recognize who it is, but when they realize who it is, they go absolutely apeshit. I mean, imagine going to an independent show in a high school gymnasium and seeing the WWE champion, and then looking up and seeing Vince McMahon rolling into the ring. And he raised the arm of the heel, Brian Milonas. If you're a Ring of Honor fan, you know Brian Milonas. You know that name. Milonas has talked about this in the past. He said nobody told him about any of this. He had no idea that McMahon was going to show up. So when you watch the video back, and the video of this, it's not great quality, but it is up on YouTube, this fan cam video of it. He has this shock, like his mouth is open. He has this shocked expression on his face. He looks up and sees Vince McMahon in the ring and is like, what the hell is going on here? And he even says, Vince, when he comes over to him, says, are you the heel or the baby? And Milonas goes, I'm the heel. And Vince takes his hand and he raises his hand and everybody boos. So Cena gets back to his feet and Vince slaps him across the face. And then he slaps him a second time and Cena picks up Vince. He dumps him with an FU. It was still the FU at that time. Now it's the attitude adjustment. After that, Vince rolls out to the floor and he is immediately escorted out of the building right back to a waiting car and he gets the hell out of there. So he did it basically as a favor to John Cena because it was a benefit that his brother was putting on or for his brother, and it was a favor to him. So if you want to watch it, you can find the clip on YouTube. It is wild to go back and watch, though. We have not seen Vince in an environment like that since he had that little run in Memphis doing stuff for Jerry Lawler's promotion. That was back in '93. But if you want to see Vince McMahon, the Indy darling, you can go find the clip on YouTube. Jose from San Diego, California. What if WWE had its own G1 Climax in 2003? The same rules, start time around July. 2003 is when I started watching SmackDown religiously. There would be a red block and a blue block, with the winner getting a title shot at their respective brand's championship. The main title holders around July would not be included. I would like for you to pick a winner from each block and then a winner from the finals. I think the champions at the time were Triple H and Kurt Angle. So I gave this one a little bit of thought because it was an interesting question. A G1 Climax style tournament with that roster from SmackDown in 2003 would have been a lot of fun. Kurt Angle did not win the belt until the end of July. Brock Lesnar was the champion for most of the month, so we'll take Triple H and Brock out of this. I looked at the Raw roster from that year. I didn't break it down by month because I have no idea what the Raw roster was in July specifically. Kurt Angle had just come back the month before from neck surgery. He opted to go for the one that was minimally invasive instead of the full fusion, which he now says he regrets doing for the quick fix, and he's going to have his neck fused sooner than later. In the B block, I can't vote against Angle. In the blue block, I can't vote against Angle. Yeah, you had Benoit and Eddie on SmackDown at that time too. Yeah, if I had a dark horse pick, I'd go with Eddie Guerrero. But Kurt Angle is my pick to win the blue block. And Shawn Michaels would have been my pick to win the red block. And I would have gone with the first Kurt Angle-Shawn Michaels match in the finals. With Angle going over and challenging Brock Lesnar, getting his rematch with Brock for the championship at SummerSlam.